your level of honesty. You feel me? And that's what I'm seeing happening with us as men. And that's the type of conversation we want to have. Is not the one that's just truthful. We want to be honest about that truth. Like, bro, I failed at that. You know, like I'll open up. I mean, I'll be totally transparent with y'all right now. One of the reasons I can be so powerful in my marriage is because I was the king of slaying the women. You talk about hunting.
Come on.
I could show you how to hunt. They don't even know you're hunting. No, I did it so well. I impressed myself. Like I told, there was a story of this one lady, older lady, guys. I was 18 years old. This woman had to be like 41, and I was like, no, I'm going to conquer. I'm not exaggerating. I promise you. All my friends are like, man, we all tried. Listen, she's way out of our league, maybe y'all league, and I went for it. Guys, this guy's my witness. I had this woman in my room, in dorm room. She was totally naked. Now she's a guidance counselor. Ooh. And for the life of me, I could not carry it out.
Wow.
Not that I couldn't perform, but I just, something came over me like, dude, why are you doing this? Like, what are you about to get? Like, because after the feeling, after the act is like, man, I did it again. I mean, am I the only one who's guilty of these types of things? So I'm just sharing with you guys in terms of honesty. So that's why for me it's so easy now to be committed to my wife because, man, I already know all of the exits, all of that on that highway. I'm good. But that's the type of conversation we want to have here today. Yeah. And so gentlemen, I want to be cause in that matter. And what I'm saying that is that I want to actually kick that off in that way and say to y'all, don't hold back. Don't hold back. In order for you to truly be set free from something, you have to shine light on it.
That's true.
And so any little piece you keep in the darkness, I'm telling you, that's what Lucifer's going to use.
Come on.
That crack will grow, it'll spread. You ever seen the little spider thing on the windshield? Start off a little thing, and then later on you're like, man, there's no way that was that long.
Right.
But it's because you let it sit there and you didn't do anything and it just grew and grew. Before you know it, the windshield's about to shatter. So I want to have that happen to us today. Yes. And I'm asking you all to please put that on the table. Remember, what happens at the Adam's mark?
Stays at the Adam's mark.
Let's do it, bro.
Adam's mark. Isn't that something? Adam? Adam's mark. There's another one. Adam's mark.
Watch this. That was the prayer, wasn't it?
Yes, yes.
What was the name of the first brother who spoke after the prayer?
This thing is coming full circle. I'm going to stop. Is that the truth or is that the truth, man? Is that the truth?
We're going to start discussing.
That's real.
My wife, I don't know about y'all, my wife many times will ask me, what you thinking? I'm like,
Nothing.
Yeah. She's like, you got to be thinking about something. Every time. You got to be thinking about something. And I'm like, no, I'm not that thinking about nothing at all. So I love that, man. But I love that it was an actual study done. It wasn't even just men coming up with what men come up with. And that's why I like us being in this room with the men, because we're going to talk about things that we kind of deal with. We talk about where it comes from us. I've been married 15 years. Most of you know me and know that. I have 5 children. All by my wife, and we have a marriage just like everybody else. Obi said it yesterday. I'm not up here like my marriage is just always great. And that there's never any arguments or any heated fellowship, as we call it. I love that. But we definitely have it. But we have grown. We have grown through the years. And so what I'd like to share in this room is information that may help somebody else to further along the way. I learn myself every time I come to these events. Somebody told me this, and I'll leave it here as well. You'll know where you're going to end up in the next 5 years based on the conferences you attend and the books that you read. Like, that's where you're going to be in 5 years, just straight up. And people ask me all the time, where you going to be in 5 years? I know. It's going to be no guess. I know where I'm going to be in 5 years, either there or better. Right. And when people say they're going to end up somewhere and they're doing nothing about it, there's no way you're going to end up there. Like people tell me marriage, especially young people who come and talk to you about marriage. They say, Carlos, what is marriage? I say it's a beautiful thing that takes work. It's a beautiful thing that takes work, and it's not going to just happen by itself. You cannot put your marriage on cruise control, and you have to work it out. I gravely have underestimated self-development. Things like this, before coming to things like this and developing myself and getting to this realm, and I got into this realm to start getting myself better, and then when I got in, I said, man, they know something like everybody else don't know. Like they're bettering themselves. On the outside looking in, it's like they want your money. They trying to get something from me. Why? And then I start seeing things like Oprah Winfrey going to conferences.
It's called a clue.
It's called a clue. That's what the troopers, the BCI, they say they would call that a clue.
Right.
She's a billionaire.
Right.
And she's still going to Tony Robbins conferences. Right. Like, there's got to be something to that. It's not that she's going to even just gain money. Right. It's to better yourself. So bettering your marriage, we said it yesterday, getting around other men. Me and my brother talk about it very often. I believe that most great men fall because they don't have other men around them. I believe that most great men fall because you don't have other men around you. Charles Barkley said it, and I love it. Michael Jordan is one of my favorite athletes of all time.
Yes, sir.
So for me to make this statement is like a slap in the face. He said Michael Jordan will never be a great owner. He said because he's surrounded by yes men.
Yep.
He's surrounded by men and that nobody will tell him no.
Yep.
People who are close to me, they'll tell you. Some of these brothers can test you. I set things in place for myself at this level. Like I said, I know in 5 years. I know I'm going to end up. I know the greatness. I know the millions. I know I have $3.5 billion or more before I leave this earth. How do you know that, Carlos? Because I've set that course and I've spoken it and I'm doing something about it. So I set things in place now and I tell my people close to me, if I get to a point in life and I think that it smells good and it don't, you better tell me.
That's right.
Don't be letting me walk around like it smells good and it don't. And if you like, Los, it don't. I'm like, it don't? You like, no, it don't. Remember that time we were sitting in your house and you told me to tell you? For real? Yeah, this is one of them times.
Right.
That wasn't good. Wasn't a good look. You need that. Most great men who fall, they don't have that man in their corner who's going to tell them when they are wrong. You need to open yourself up to have a man to tell you when you are wrong. And I'll start off by saying this. It's one of the videos we may show a little bit later. A lot of us, and I'm not saying specifically, but I believe a lot of us will attest to it, and we're going to all talk.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of us have been reproduced by a broken system.
Yep.
Right? So if you're reproduced by, if you have a factory that's producing broken product,
Yeah.
and you never fix the factory, it's going to keep producing broken product.
Right.
I heard it say like this. You have a street that has a pothole in it, right? Car goes down the street, bam, busts the car up. You take it to the shop, you fix the car. Next car comes down the street, bam, you take it to the shop, you fix the car. Next car comes out. These cars keep getting broken. Why? Because you've never fixed the problem.
Right.
The problem is still there.
Right.
We as men, there are a lot of problems that I pride myself and I say my children, a lot of times I say my sons, but it's my daughters as well. My sons, I have 3 of them now. There's some things that they're not going to have to close a door that their father should have closed. That's sad of me. For my 14-year-old son to have to one day grow up and stop something from producing in his life that I should have stopped. So I have to look at the broken flaws in my own life. I have to take responsibility for it. It's not just me saying, look at the history of what happened. So when we do that, we reproduce something, a broken system. And the problem is that other men have been teaching us, it said like this, Earl Nightingale said, problem with man is that we are following the follower.
Right. Right.
We're following somebody who has no idea where they're going.
Right.
And it's a broken system, but until somebody stands up and says, nah, this ain't right,
Right.
it continues to go on the same way.
Right.
Somebody in your family has to stand up and be the outcast. I have people in my family, we're going to keep it real, right?
Come on.
I have people in my family all the time say, man, you different from the rest of them.
Yeah.
You're different from them.
Right.
I've had people in my family say stuff like, man, we would invite you out, but man, we want to have fun.
Right. Right. Yep. I totally get that.
I ain't fun.
Right.
I'm not fun.
Right.
I've had people say things to me like that. I've had pastors, I've had mega people who you would know who said to me, you cut from a different cloth than the rest of your family.
Right.
You are. You're different than the rest of them. And it's purposely done.
Right.
It's not that my family is bad. I thank God for my family because our family is a whole lot better than a lot of other ones. Trust me.
Right.
What I'm trying to point out is that there are some things that I have not accepted.
Right.
That other men have accepted. Because I've got to an age that I now understand that if I continue to do this, it's going to happen in my children. And I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with being, Ray Lewis said, I can't stand, nobody wants to be average.
Right.
I love it. He was speaking to a football team, but he said, I'm pissed off for greatness.
Right.
Like, who wants to be mediocre?
Right.
Who wants to be okay? Like, who want to be good with the status quo? Not me. I want to be great. And greatness costs what it costs.
Right.
Never seen a Rolls Royce on sale.
Right. Right. Right.
Hyundais all day.
Right. Right.
Kick them, drag them in, we give you $2,000 off.
Right.
Bentley ain't on sale. Why? Because it costs what it costs. When you want to be great, it's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you not to be like the rest of your family. Frederick Douglass says this, it's easier to build strong children than it is to rebuild a broken man.
Yes.
It's easier to build strong children than it is to rebuild a broken man. When we become men, you have to actually, if a bone heals the wrong way, you got to break it
In order for it to reheal.
in order for it to reheal the proper way. That's a whole new thing when you say breaking old habits or breaking generational curses.
Right.
Things that have been healed the wrong way in my dad, and his dad, and his dad, the wrong way. And somebody got to stand up and say, no, that's for me and my house.
Right.
We will serve the Lord.
Right.
You know?
That's powerful, man. I appreciate what you just said, brother. You just even shed some light for me personally. But let me ask you all this, because the way we want to have this happen today is as a conversation, as I mentioned earlier. And so that doesn't, it's not us necessarily just speaking to you guys. Yes, we're going to be catalysts and we're going to, you know, and keep the conversation moving forward in a certain direction, but we want your voices to be a part of this. So let me go from what my brother just talked about to open the floor to you guys. What are some of those potholes that we've been taught? You know, maybe you were taught, maybe you learned.